Reports from western Iran say protesters have seized control of Abdanan after clashes with Revolutionary Guard forces.
The United States and Israel have launched what President Donald Trump has called major combat operations in Iran.
Suddenly, explosive booms rippled across Iran's capital and other major cities. February 28, 2026. Smoke rose over Tehran's skyline as sirens wailed. Across satellite feeds and social media, videos showed flash after flash military targets hit, communications lines severed, roads blocked, and civilians scrambling for shelter. This was no isolated clash. In coordinated strikes, now confirmed by multiple governments, United States and Israeli forces launched a major military offensive against the Islamic Republic of Iran. President Donald Trump declared the beginning of major combat operations.
We are going to destroy their missiles and raise their missile industry to the ground. It will be totally, again, obliterated.
A significant escalation in a conflict that analysts have long feared could spark world-scale reverberations. This is Operation Epic Fury, also described by Israeli officials as Operation Lion's Roar, a synchronized assault intended to dismantle Iran's military and strategic capabilities. Operation Lion's Roar was the name given by the Israeli government to a coordinated military strike carried out against targets in the Islamic Republic of Iran. At approximately early morning local time, multiple missile salvos and coordinated airstrikes struck strategic locations across Iran, marking one of the most widespread bombardments in recent memory. In Tehran, explosions were reported near sensitive government compounds and military headquarters, sending shockwaves through the capital. Sirens echoed across residential districts as emergency units scrambled to assess the damage. Blasts were also confirmed in Isfahan, Qom, Tabriz, and Karaj, suggesting a coordinated, multi-city operation targeting both military and strategic infrastructure nodes. Reports indicated significant disruption to major infrastructure systems. Mobile networks experienced outages, transportation routes were temporarily suspended, and emergency response services faced operational strain amid the chaos. In the southern city of Manab, Iranian state media initially acknowledged explosions and emergency alerts before later confirming casualties, including children at a local school, intensifying national and international concern over the humanitarian impact of the strikes. In Washington, President Trump addressed the nation.
The objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime, a vicious group of very hard, terrible people. Its menacing activities directly endanger the United States, our troops, our bases overseas, and our allies throughout the world. For 47 years, the Iranian regime has chanted death to America and waged an unending campaign of bloodshed and mass murder, targeting the United States, our troops, and the innocent people in many, many countries.
We have begun major combat operations to defend American citizens and eliminate imminent threats posed by Iran's regime. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu echoed the gravity of the moment, emphasizing the need to eliminate what he called an existential threat. Analysts say this marks the most dramatic military chapter between these states since 1979. According to the New York Times, citing a senior U.S. official, American strikes on Iran were already underway. At the same time, Reuters reported that Iran's supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, was no longer in Tehran and had been moved to a secure, undisclosed location, a signal of the seriousness of the unfolding situation. This latest escalation comes just weeks after Israel and Iran concluded a tense 12-day air war in June. U.S. and Israeli officials had repeatedly warned that further military action would follow if Tehran continued advancing its nuclear and ballistic missile programs. In a nationally broadcast statement, Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz declared, "The State of Israel launched a preemptive attack against Iran to remove threats to the State of Israel." An Israeli defense official later confirmed that the operation had been planned for months, in close coordination with Washington, with the final launch date determined only weeks ago. Meanwhile, explosions were reported across Tehran early Saturday, according to Iranian state media. Inside Israel, sirens sounded nationwide at approximately 8:15 a.m. local time. The Israeli military described the alerts as a proactive measure to prepare civilians for the possibility of incoming missile fire. As tensions surge once again in the region, the world now watches closely for Iran's response and whether this latest strike could ignite a broader conflict. Within hours of the US and Israeli assault on Iran, Tehran delivered a sweeping counterattack that dramatically expanded the conflict. Officials from the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps announced that waves of missiles and armed drones had been launched against a series of strategic targets not only inside Israel, but across key United States military bases in the Gulf region. According to military statements, Iranian forces struck at American facilities stationed in Qatar, Bahrain, Kuwait, and the United Arab Emirates, including the headquarters of the U.S. Fifth Fleet in Manama, a major hub of American naval power. Explosions were reported around bases hosting U.S. personnel, and air defense systems were put to the test across multiple countries. Simultaneously, missiles and drones were directed toward Israel itself, triggering air raid sirens and activating defense networks there. While many projectiles were intercepted by Iron Dome and allied systems, officials confirmed that some impacts were still recorded near military installations and urban areas. Iran's foreign minister, Abbas Araghchi, appeared live on Iranian state television to address the nation's escalating military response, calling the strikes against American bases a justified act of self-defense. He said that Tehran cannot simply sit and watch as we are attacked, and insisted that targeting U.S. This rapid escalation has transformed what began as a targeted strike into a multi-theater confrontation, with front lines stretching from Tehran to the Gulf states and Tel Aviv raising the specter of a broader, protracted regional conflict. Regional reactions followed swiftly as the conflict widened. The Ministry of Defense, United Arab Emirates, confirmed in an official statement posted on X that several Iranian missiles had been successfully intercepted over Emirati airspace. The ministry strongly condemned what it described as a brazen attack, signaling both operational readiness and political outrage in United Arab Emirates. Meanwhile, Saudi Arabia issued a sharp condemnation on February 28th, denouncing Iran's strikes targeting the United Arab Emirates, Bahrain, Qatar, Kuwait, and Jordan. Within hours of the strikes, U.S. President Donald Trump released a video message to the Iranian people and the world. In stark terms, he framed the offensive not just as a defensive action, but as a mission to eliminate imminent threats from Tehran, including its missile program, naval forces, and regional proxies. Trump went further, making an unprecedented call for regime change. "When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take," he said, urging Iranians to rise up against the Islamic Republic leadership once the operation concludes. Also, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu echoed that theme, stating the goal of the joint operation was to create the conditions for the brave Iranian people to take their fate into their own hands. With Gulf states now directly affected and openly aligning against Tehran's actions, the conflict is no longer confined to isolated exchanges. It is rapidly evolving into a broader regional security crisis, drawing in multiple capitals and raising the stakes across the Middle East. On the same day, President Trump said regarding this conflict,
"The great proud people of Iran, I say tonight that the hour of your freedom is at hand. Stay sheltered, don't leave your home. It's very dangerous outside. Bombs will be dropping everywhere. When we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will be probably your only chance for generations. For many years, you have asked for America's help, but you never got it. No president was willing to do what I am willing to do tonight. Now you have a president who is giving you what you want. So let's see how you respond. America is backing you with overwhelming strength and devastating force. Now is the time to seize control of your destiny and to unleash the prosperous and glorious future that is close within your reach. This is the moment for action."
The Chief of Staff of the Israel Defense Forces addressed the nation, declaring that Israel's campaign would continue with full force across every operational front. He stated, "When I assumed my position, I said that before our eyes lie the future, victory, and the defeat of the enemy. Any adversary who threatens Israel's security will pay a heavy price. The IDF chief further urged the public to remain confident, saying citizens should trust in us and rely on the IDF's ability to act with uncompromising strength across all fronts. In a major escalation, UK Prime Minister Keir Starmer has confirmed that the United Kingdom has formally entered the conflict. In a televised statement, Starmer announced that British forces are now actively engaged, with Royal Air Force aircraft already conducting operations in the region. He described the mission as part of coordinated regional defensive operations aimed at protecting British citizens, national interests, and allied nations. The move places the UK directly alongside the United States and Israel, signaling a broader Western military alignment as the confrontation with Iran intensifies. The remarks signal that Israel is preparing not just for limited retaliation, but for sustained operations, reinforcing the message that any threat to Israeli territory or national security will be met with decisive military action. Experts around the world are warning that what began as a targeted military confrontation between Israel, the United States, and Iran could now spiral into a much wider Middle East war. Analysts say that with missile and drone exchanges stretching from Tehran to Gulf capitals, and multiple countries already impacted by air defenses and intercepted strikes, the risk of neighboring states being drawn in either through defense commitments or direct retaliation is very real.